Beneath the cute veneer of echoes of wisdom lay a very human story about struggle and triumph. In a certain respect, all games in the Legend of Zelda series are about those things, but Echoes of Wisdom takes a more personal turn. In so many ways, it feels like a continuation of the themes we saw surrounding Zelda's story in the era of the Wilds. While Link's story is often concerned with proving himself to be the hero that everyone expects him to be so that he can save the kingdom, Zelda's story has many more personal elements to illustrate that journey. It's reflected in the encouragement she receives along with the doubt from the multitude of characters in this game. We can't discern too much about the relationship between Zelda and her father, but the dialogue in the game demonstrates a much more kind and heartfelt king than we've seen in recent entries. His voice is one of encouragement and support. All the same, in the neighboring Gerudo Desert, we see that just because Zelda is not a Vo does not mean that she is simply accepted on the merit of being a Vai. Even though it may be shown through the deception of Facette, we can see that the Gerudo are weary of her, often calling her the Hylian. The story goes a long way to show us that even though she has a loving and supportive father, there's still signs of pain in the kingdom. No doubt the harsh words shared by the Gerudo are impactful to Zelda. It requires her to transform through hardships to show that she's the hero that the kingdom so desperately needs. There are other themes here that I hope to explore in the future, such as the way in which generational trauma can cause women to hurt one another because of the mistakes of their fathers. But that's beyond the scope of what I want to talk about here. The story demonstrates the most emotional parts of the narrative by externalizing both our thoughts, along with Zelda's thoughts and feelings through Tri, while giving us a dose of things we all need to hear. There are themes in this game surrounding how it feels to carry our earliest pain and how it manifests. Zelda is without her mother. Her mother's painting doesn't even hang in the throne room. While it may seem odd, this is perhaps a reflection of the hurt that the royal family still feels. Too often, loss in any form rips us apart from the inside out, and there are times when coping with that pain means putting it out of sight and out of mind. The game makes a thinly veiled reference to this in the parts surrounding Condé. While it would illustrate the point by talking about this portion of the story, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. To say that I ugly cried during this part of the game would be a massive understatement. The story shows us the consequences of coping this way and what it means to let our pain fester. Simply choosing to forget and forgo feeling our emotions has a lasting impact on who we are and whether or not we continue to put that pain back into the world. For a long portion of the game, we only know that there is a villain who's stolen away countless people. When we finally meet the big bad in this story, Null, it subverts our expectations by showing us the truth of who that villain is. Null presents like a small, hurt child. Even the retelling of the creation story seems like a 4-year-old who was hurt but who still needed to be stopped. It touches on some really human experiences, and it could be an allegory for healing our pain instead of just simply locking it away. The more we try to suppress it, the more it consumes everything around us until our memories of things are replaced by dark versions of everything we know. It also touches on the little one inside of us that carries our experiences, good or bad. It reminds me of how from our pain, we can turn it outward and continue the cycle of suffering. There is, however, a magic trick that happens when we work to heal our pain. Instead of simply internalizing it, it gives us the capacity to help others heal from their pain too. They took the experience of being a person and held up a mirror as if to say, "Do nothing and become like your forebears." Their light swallowed up by the deep hurt within, consuming that child in us that wants nothing more to shine. Or, deal with our hurt and mend those rifts, created by things that we had no control over. It tells us that all we need to do is to simply try. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this look at the narrative of Echoes of Wisdom. If it resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me.